Chapman from SeeingTrue.com, and I'm again with Dr. Khalsa, which pleases me to no end, because this time we're going to talk about nutrition, which, okay, look at me. This is one of my challenging areas, and we won't talk about me, but nutrition is central to your practice. Why is nutrition so important, Guru Sahai?
So I think that structure, emotions, energy, nutrition, that's a good triangle of health. And so you are what you eat. Actually, I disagree with that. If you eat perfectly great organic apples, if you don't digest them and absorb them, they're not going to do you any good. So you are what you absorb, really. So we don't eat as well as we could, all of us. We have a lot of toxins from the environment that build up in the body and sludge things down. And so by looking at nutrition, we can find that maybe there's a vitamin D deficiency. So when that happens, people's bones aren't going to be as strong. Their immune system isn't going to work as well. Maybe there's a need for herbs because, that's what our whole ancestry is built on, is using herbs to help repair, to rebuild, to balance out the body. So I think if we look at diet, we look at cleansing, we look at taking herbs or vitamins and minerals, that feeds the body so it has the raw materials to heal itself and to grow and repair.
And it must change over time.
Absolutely. So every day, your stress levels create need for more B vitamins, more D vitamins, more ashwagandha, which is an herb that helps with stress. And so if I check you for that today, I look at the blood, and the blood, I look at it at a narrower, healthier range. So if that looks good for the general population, this looks good for a healthy person. So I look at that kind of thing. I use something called muscle testing to help me determine through trigger points what organ systems might need some support. So if the liver shows weak, if the liver shows weak, maybe you need more beets. So it's not just taking pills. I might suggest foods to work with too.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk a little bit about muscle testing because it's one of the more intriguing parts of your practice, but that's a separate segment. I've always been told, well, not always, but I had a really good practitioner many years ago who said that we, similar to what you said, we've evolved eating food, eating stuff in its most natural, closest to the earth form. And I know you're a vegan. Everybody wants to know, what about meat? What about animal products?
I think that we evolved eating meat. So on some level, I don't think it's a bad thing. However, how it's grown nowadays is a problem. So it's grown in lots, and they eat grains where they're used to out grazing and moving and eating the grass. And that changes the kind of oils that are in the animal, which then affects us. The part about vegan, I'm actually vegetarian. I do have some dairy, but I don't eat meat because I think it's a little heavier and it's harder to digest. In Ayurvedic medicine, we talk about different energies. So if you want a more meditative mind and you want to be more flexible, then you don't eat as much meat. So I'm not against it, but I advise people, if they're going to eat it as healthy and organic as possible.
Yeah, so that, I guess that's that, get as close to the earth as you can. And does that include locality?
Yes, one of the most important things with eating is what's called seasonal eating and location eating. So eating bananas here in Georgia might not be the best first choice. Is it bad? No. But if you lived on bananas all the time in this environment, it might not work as good as blueberries that grow here. And eating it in this form that it comes out of the earth is always better, other than maybe light cooking once in a while to release some of the nutrients.
I guess that must explain, because I think everybody's heard the importance of local honey, local bee pollen that they were told over and over again. So that just affirms the value of something local, because that's where our body is.
Right. So then that goes along with the weather. If we're eating root vegetables, which are winter type vegetables in the middle of the summer, they're going to create an imbalance potentially.
So what's the number one tip for people in nutrition?
Chew your food.
That was not what I was expecting.
I know that wasn't the one. There's a lot of people, Gandhi said it, my yoga teacher said it, all kinds of people have said, You have to chew, chew, chew. You should drink your food and chew your drinks. The food should be so well chewed that it's like a liquid, and your drinks need to be chewed because you need to mix your saliva with the liquid so you can start the digestive process that happens in the mouth. We all gulp our food, and when we do that, it doesn't digest very well. Chew your food. That's the most important.
Well, ending on an unexpected note, but thanks for that wisdom.
Thank you.